Moon Day, Wise Hearts. Happy 10th of August. Happy one day in numerology. Yeah, and happy Moon Day. Welcome back to Wise Hearts Garden, um, a place where we're together. We plant seeds of curiosity, of compassion, of courage, and community, where we tend to our lives one season and one practice at a time. I was trying to come up with something to talk about for today. And you notice that I'm actually outside. I'm in the front area with the garden, but we got fern right here. Then got another plant right here. I've got a Gerber daisy down here, and I'm listening to the doves. And so as I thought about what am I going to talk about for Moon Day, it's a one day, but also it carries the energy of the moon, which, we think about emotions. And so I was like, what has really been happening for me in this last week? And there's a lot of sickness, surgeries, um, and loss, death that is around me. And so, I thought about how I have stayed with myself, which I talked about last week, as far as what the compost bowl is teaching me. And just seeing the capacity that I'm building to stay with myself through lots of big feelings that are coming up. And And so it's been interesting, right? Because I did have a situation where something happened and I ended up feeling like shocked and disappointment, some uncertainty. And I was like, how am I going to have this conversation with somebody that I love and that I value? And so I thought I would bring that to the garden today, just because this all is like a practice. This all is leading me to have more capacity to be with life, to be embodied in my ability to be with life, to be with myself, to stay with myself, not abandon myself when things are happening, in real time. And so, yeah, I thought that's what I would center today on is just staying with myself when situations or life disappoint me. And so, yeah, I was disappointed and I was able to pause and not be reactive, which I really loved. I was able to breathe, to check in with my body, to see what I was feeling, to see if there was any tension, any constriction in my body. And I was able to express exactly how I was feeling, what needed to be expressed. And I was able to do it with love. And that's not something that I have done in the past. And so I was really, yeah, there's bugs out here too, mosquitoes. And so the whole practice of pausing, of slowing down, of breathing, of checking in with my body, of expressing what I needed to express, and doing that from a place of love. That may sound simple, but it definitely hasn't been for me. And so it's still a practice, and I am still honoring myself with staying with myself. And so the former version of myself may have held on to that disappointment. I may have replayed that situation over and over, judged myself, judged the other person, and carried that pain long after that moment had passed. And I've done that for years. And and now I know that doing that like actually leaks my own energy, just holding on to something, you know? And so not not staying with myself. And this time I chose differently, and I'm so proud of myself for that. Um, Not because I handled everything perfectly, but because I stayed with myself. And I'm learning that staying with myself doesn't mean that people won't hurt me. Doesn't mean that I won't sometimes hurt somebody else. Um, I realize there's no perfection. Y'all heard the horn blowing, right? I'm outside. And in the past, like that would have been another thing. I would have wanted to stop this. I haven't gotten that great at editing. And so I'm just posting, what happens. And I'm just realizing like we all are human in all of our complexity. And so we will disappoint one another, even when we love each other, even when we are doing our best. And so, what matters to me now is what I do when things happen. Can I pause? Can I feel? Can I breathe? Can I check in with myself and not leave? Can I take responsibility for what belongs to me without taking responsibility for the entire situation? Um, can I release the need for a particular outcome? Can I allow life to be exactly what it is? And so this experience brought me back to release to the compost bowl, not necessarily releasing the person or the relationship, but releasing my attachment to how I thought something needed to unfold. And so I'm just returning to something that I'm learning with each situation is that I can meet what life brings me. And so this is what I wanted to share today. And this is the practice that I'm living, pausing, checking in, breathing, feeling, noticing, expressing what needs to be expressed, releasing what is not meant for me to carry, and then returning to life. And that feels good. So perhaps the question that I am carrying into this week and also wanting to share with you is where might you be able to stay with yourself instead of carrying something forward? All right, that's all I have for you today, Moon Day Wise Hearts. Um, until next time, until we meet again in the garden, I'm sending you so much love. And if you are still here at this point and you haven't already liked, shared, or subscribed, please do that. Please like, share, and subscribe. Share with anyone that you think might benefit or be interested in this content. I don't really like to think of it as content. I really like to think of it as a conversation that we're having. So, anyone that may be interested, please share. And again, until next time, thank you for being here. Take good care.